What's up, sippers? Welcome to another episode of Tea and Champagne Podcast. My name is Lena.
Hey, sippers. My name is Dee.
Yes, and we have a wonderful episode tonight. We have a special guest with us. A part of the champagne lifestyle is getting your finances in order, budgeting, making money. Wealth is health, right? So we have a
Yes.
special guest with us tonight. Before I get into his, we got to do our housekeeping notes here. Sippers, if you have not already subscribed to all of our platforms, this is the time to do so. Like us on what? Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Those are our platforms. You love us, so follow us. Also, if you would like to share your journal entries with us, please email us at teaandchampagnepod@gmail.com. We know that y'all liked last week's episodes. We got a lot of feedback from that. So we just want to make sure that we continue the momentum and we want to see your journal entries get, transparent and vulnerable with us because we're going to continue to do that for you. Also, last but not least, we don't have any champagne today, D.
I know. All I got is my water. Sorry, you guys. We hydro flasking today.
Yeah, I don't even have any water, but oh, he does. But yeah, so we don't have any champagne today. Sorry about that. We just are some busy women today, and we want to be respectful to our guests' time. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest. It is none other than Roland McIntyre. Roland is the founder of Mountaintop Wealth because we're talking about finances today. Roland provides personal financial planning to working class professionals, minorities, a demographic of underserved by traditional financial institutions. His commitment to integrity, service, and excellence shines through the work, transforming finances into pathways to freedom. What? Freedom.
Freedom.
Roland is an alumni of Brainerd High School. Got to put that out there first. He's also a alumni of Tennessee State University. Got to put that out there second. And Roland, I read this in your bio, but I did not know you were in the marching band, which means
Yeah.
you were in the marching band at Brainerd too, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so by the time I got there, I think you were already gone. I think you were either graduating. Are you oh 05 or oh
Probably.
06?
Oh five. Oh five.
Oh five. So you had already graduated by the time I got there. But yeah, and he played the alto saxophone just like me. I did
Just
not
like
know
my
Yeah.
that.
sister. I didn't know you played the alto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh yeah.
My
did.
sister played the alto. Yeah,
Which one?
the alto saxophone.
No, which sister?
My big sister, Shara.
Shara did. Okay,
Like
that
which
is
one? The
okay.
out?
So yeah, that's amazing. Also, he is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. He is also the vice president of Tennessee State Chattanooga Alumni Association. Shout out to them. And he is the president of the Urban League Greater Chattanooga Young Professionals. He is
Nice.
also a devoted husband to Miss Keisha McIntyre and a father. I do not know your son's name. He's Roland the Fourth.
The fourth. That's right.
Roland the Fourth. So he's a well-rounded guy, everybody, and clearly he serves his community. He's in all these organizations, and a scholar, also a U.S. Are you a U.S. Marine?
Ooh, Air Force. Air Force.
U.S. Air Force.
Yeah.
I apologize. U.S. Air Force. And he just wants to break traditional curses in our community and get our pockets high. You know what I mean? Stack our pockets so we can have expensive pockets. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Hmm.
we're going to talk about mountaintop wealth here. Roland McIntyre, welcome to Tea and Champagne Podcast.
Yes, welcome
Thank
to
y'all
our
so much.
podcast, Roland. It is an honor to have you. I am so excited for this episode because, like Lena said, you cannot have a champagne life if your pockets aren't right. So I'm excited.
Look at that
We
rhyming.
rhyming
She rhyming.
tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
First.
Bars.
So anyway, like Lita said, we got a real special guest on today. And as y'all could see, he's very credible. This is a respected individual in our presence right now, a pure professional. And let's get into it because we want to get straight to the good stuff. And Roland, I'm also going to congratulate you because in addition to being with your company, Mountaintop Wealth, you also have a podcast called Money Peaks and Pivots.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
congratulations, you guys.
Thank
We
you.
are collaborating with a fellow podcaster on top of everything else that he does.
Yes, you sound like a busy
Yes.
guy.
Yeah, thank you
Mm-hmm.
for your podcast. He
Yes.
has, you guys are not too far behind. He has 2 episodes you can go ahead and catch up on. We'll get into where you can find him on all of his platforms. So, yeah, congratulations. And what I did was ahead of our episode, I went ahead and listened to all of the posts and content and episodes. So, thank you
Okay.
for
She
Thank
did
you.
her
your
homework.
contribution. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
listen, honestly though, that's a category of podcast that I was listening to even before we started our podcast. You know, our girls Brown Ambition with
Hmm.
our girl Aniche, Miss Aniche. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, her co-host
Mm-hmm.
Megan. And you know,
Tiffany.
she
Mm-hmm.
just Tiffany Aniche, yes, she just came out with
Mm-hmm.
her book, How to Get Good with
Mm-hmm.
Money.
You told me
That's
about the
my
Yes.
budgetista.
Yes, the
Budgetnista.
Okay.
Yes.
Budgetnista. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's my jam. So I love listening to finance inspired content and learning it from a comprehensive perspective. You know, you speak it in a language that's totally comprehensible that we can understand and
Yes.
that we can actually apply. It's tangible
Mm-hmm.
information that we can
Mm-hmm.
actually use like immediately. And it's reachable. So I was very excited to tune in because I think I would have hopefully came across it anyway, so I could take notes. So again, congrats. And based on the episodes that I heard, I just wanted to elaborate and kind of expand on what you already discussed. Because what I'm not going to do is have you repeat what you said on your episodes. We need our listeners to go listen to those episodes. So if you guys want to get
Okay.
all the tea, go to
Yeah.
Roland's podcast and play it back. What we're doing is elaborating on top of that. So if you really want to get the full scope, please play the episodes because we're just touching the surface and getting an introduction, but he's going to tap into it in full detail. So, but one of the things that I did learn was financial independence. You know, you kind of open it
Yes.
up on financial independence and setting the tone on the importance of that particular category of achievement for yourself, you know? So
Yes.
I wanted to learn, like, how do you define financial independence for yourself? You know, it looks different from everyone. How you define
Yes.
financial independence is not going to be the same way as how someone else would define it. But I'm just curious, as far as you and your family, how would you know that you've reached financial independence if you haven't already? Like, what is the, you know, what are the markers that you're looking for? How do you define it for yourself?
I like that. That's a good start. The way I look at financial independence for myself, really, it's about the opportunity for us to spending time together and the freedom to do the things that we really want to do together. It really is that simple. Can we go to Universal Studios and do, see the different, Harry Potter rides and the Islands of Adventure and, all of those different things? That can we go to the Hawks games and have a good time? That sort of thing. For me personally, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
my wife has some other things on that list, but those are kind of the things that really I enjoy from time to time. And when we're doing those things like that as a family, it's dope. Even if we're just doing a chat taste tour, something
Hmm.
like that together. That's freedom for us. That's us having a good time, being around people we care about, and being able to just sit there in that moment and have a good time. That's freedom. That's independence to me. So that's what I enjoy doing. Being around the people that I care about. Of course, time with family, not just me, Keisha, and my son, but also our extended family as well. So those good
Okay.
holidays where they eat, where they cooking good and I'm eating good, that's a good time too.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna never complain
Yeah.
about that.
I like that. I like that. I like that you're focusing on making memories. It's not really about what kind of car, what kind of house. It's really
Oh no,
about those experiences. Okay.
yes, absolutely,
So,
absolutely,
can you tell us more about the money script? Because you also tapped into a
yeah.
new vocabulary word that I hadn't even heard
Mm.
of. So this is
Yeah,
good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in this. This
Yeah,
sounds interesting.
tell a money script for someone. What does that mean, and how can a financial advisor help someone with their own money script? Let the listeners get into exactly what you're going to be talking about with money scripting.
Absolutely. So money scripts that are something that they can be positive, they can be negative, they can be something that builds you, they can be something that drains you. What are those thoughts that you're telling yourself? Are they something
Hmm.
that can lift you up, or is it something that's actually becoming a barrier for you to reach the goals and to the next levels that you want to achieve? So, oh, I'll never be able to pay off these student loans, or I'll never be able to get out of debt. That is that self-talk that you're having with yourself that can lead to you not being able to actually even focus and look at your financial situation because you are already starting the conversation with yourself in a negative light. Whereas if you're saying, hey, I have the ability to actually take one step at a time and start knocking out some of this debt, that can be just a change in a few words, a change in tone can really make a difference in that little script that's in your head that allows you to pursue the things that you really want to pursue and actually, literally pivot, pun intended, far as the podcast is concerned, from
Yeah.
pivot from a negative situation to actually start pivoting to a positive one with your finances. So when you're thinking about money, what's your first thought? Is it a negative thing or is it a positive one?
Ooh, that's
Hmm.
good.
So
That's
it's
good.
like finance affirmations.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm an affirmations
absolutely.
girl.
Yeah, that's psychological too. That is, I'm glad we getting into that. That's because it's
Mm-hmm.
how you talk to yourself and that's setting your tone for your
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
decisions.
Yes.
Okay, so I also enjoyed that you mentioned generations and how money is approached on a generational spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned that we can approach the taboo concept of money by
Mm-hmm.
inviting loved ones to those meetings that you
Mm-hmm.
set up with a financial advisor, by inviting your loved ones to meeting with a financial advisor and having that conversation with them and an approach of, hey, I have this appointment to discuss finances. Can you come with me? And I don't even think you phrase it as, do you want to come with me? It's just kind of like, can you come? I want you to come. So, what does that experience look like? Could you walk us through a healthy encounter with someone that wants to have a consultation or a coaching session with a financial advisor? What would that experience look like? What questions would they ask us? What questions should we be asking them? Is there a follow-up
Mm-hmm.
process to it? Kind of walk us through what people can look forward to, what can they expect?
Yeah, certainly. The thing for every financial advisor is different, and there are
Hmm.
definitely certain questions that you want to ask financial advisors. Really, with my clients and the people that I work with, the thing that I really want people to ask me is, one, are you? I think at the beginning of this conversation, we talked about, are you qualified? So, what are your credentials? Even if you're not necessarily familiar with all of the credentials and things that are out there, you want to know that this person has some type of responsibility, ethics, professional code that they have to follow. And you don't have to know every single, because a lot of these, it's alphabet soup. It's like CPA, CFP,
Hmm.
FBI, NWO. Well, like what you talking, it can seem like a lot, but really the main thing when you're asking that question is, are you qualified? And that's what you're
Hmm.
looking to see. And you can kind of do some research on some of those things ahead of time, but also you can just make sure that the person that you're dealing with is going on the up and up, and they're not just some person that just popped up on the internet and they're just repeating some stuff from someone that is, that's false. So they're just taking some stuff off TikTok or something like that. So you want to know if they're credible. The other thing is, do you like the person? Do you trust the person? Do you like the
Hmm.
delivery of the information? Can you connect with them? Do you feel like you can open up with them? So I think that's what I've learned, even personally, when I was able to, when I really got interested in the field myself. It was my aunt who took me to one of her financial advisor meetings when I was just in probably middle school or high school. And I started to see those conversations take place. And I just thought it was interesting. And just being in the room, sometimes that's all it takes is if you're trying to get that friend or spouse or family member to be interested about money, is to get them in the room and see people like us having those type of conversations,
Yeah.
because it is a taboo topic. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned that it's a shame-free environment when you're in the right
Mm-hmm.
space. You got to get over
Mm-hmm.
that shame. And
Yes.
once you get over that shame and just be comfortable in in your
Yep.
stand that there's, a
Mm-hmm.
better side coming, you're doing the right thing by being there. That's the first right step. So, okay, so before I let Lena take over, I have one more question. So, in my experience, I've kind of consulted with different financial advisors, and the ones that I've connected to, they're usually reserved for individuals and companies in a certain tax bracket. And they look at my assets and they're like, okay, so you're not ready for us yet. So, what are the options for people such as myself who are I used to consider myself middle class, but now I feel like I'm a lower middle class now.
Oh.
What are our options for someone that doesn't have $1 million portfolio or, all these investments? I'm just really trying to get basic advice on, if I sell my home, what should I do with the equity, or if I want to borrow from that, or if I'm, doing the basic match on my 401k, like how does that look 10
Mm-hmm.
to 20 years from now? And I know I have resources through my job. Like I'm fortunate enough
Mm-hmm.
to where my employer has a organization that they are partnered with. But if someone doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have that resource and they're kind of in my boat, what are some other opportunities?
Absolutely. So you just named one, is one, your employer. So there's plenty
Mm-hmm.
of companies out there that people don't take advantage of employee benefits and things of that nature. And one of those benefits may be, hey, we offer our employees free financial planning and or
Yeah.
a free financial review. Take advantage of it. It's free 99. What do you have to lose? At least you get a basis of what you like, what you don't like. So go ahead, if you have something like that, I love for people to take advantage of that. Whether you like that person or not, at least you get a baseline of what they actually can offer for you, and you get some type of basis of your financial situation. So you get a twofer there. The other thing is, or the other options available to you for those non-wealthy individuals, are what's called flat fee financial advisors. Flat fee financial advisors are people who, they don't charge based on how much assets you have. They charge based on things like, hey, they may have a monthly amount. Like I have various different pricing options, but you may need just a financial coach. You may just need someone on an hourly basis because you're looking for something that's going to be a 5, 6, 8 hour project, whatever case may be. And that's it, because you're looking just to buy a home. You have a financial advisor through your job and you're looking for this specific situation. For whatever reason you want to go through this person, that's totally fine too. So there's a couple of different options out there. Now, usually if you're going to go to a bank or you go to a uh, a financial firm, they may ask you, how much do you have in those accounts? Do you have $1 million account, a $500,000 account, $100,000? And then they're going to charge you based on that. And they don't want to waste their time with some of those individuals. That's not necessarily, you can still at least have a conversation with them to see where you're at. You can still
Mm-hmm.
have that conversation. Going to the bank is free. If you've been banking with that institution for years, it doesn't cost you anything to walk into that bank and have a conversation with that personal banker. Those personal bankers want to have a
Mm.
conversation with you. You've been banking with them for years. They may not be able to offer you all the things that you want, or you're not looking to buy the products that they're going to definitely try to sell you. But at least you can start you're already having a relationship with the bank. As far as you giving them money, you're putting that money into those accounts. Why not continue that relationship with improving your credit and looking at what other loan options are out there? If you are starting a business, what type of services and resources can they provide to you to help you grow your business?
That's awesome. Thank you. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
know that's helping a lot of people right now, so thank you. All
Yeah.
right, Lena, I'll let you
Well,
take it from here.
Okay, before we segue into the next question, I just want to say, what did you say? The employment that offers free financial planning. I just started working with a financial institution myself, but I'm still in the lower level, so I kind of just take a look at what I see every day and try to apply some of that into my lifestyle. I have gotten better with budgeting and things, but I still got a long way to go. You know what I mean? But I have been trying to tackle um I don't want to call it a burden, but this financial challenge. You know what I mean? Because I still want
Hmm.
to be able to live my lifestyle, have income coming in, putting it off to the side, and still save. So
Yeah.
this is a good question for me. What mistakes do you see when it comes to people working on finances or paying off debt, building and savings, and trying to build a savings?
Okay. Well, before I answer that question, I want to say, hey, you're trying to climb a mountain. You're overcoming some things, far as whether that's debt, that the challenges that life gets in the way, those things that interfere with you. I think that literally leads into my answer, which would be when life challenges hit, the first thing that people do is they stop. They stop that debt plan, or they stop paying off the debt. Soon as the job changes or the car breaks down or something, that's the first thing that goes, is actually paying off the debt, whereas not looking at other items that could be something that could be addressed. So I think the consistency, being able to set up an automatic debt payment plan, is something that you could potentially do. Even if you need to pull back on it and reduce the amount that you're putting toward the debt, but completely cutting it off is more harmful than at least sending something. So if you were doing $300 a month and you have a financial shock to the system and you need to pull back, well, 200 is better than nothing, or
Mhm.
$100 is better than nothing.
Hmm.
$100 is something. So just if you can put something towards it, I think, and trying to still stay consistent is the best thing you can do there, rather than trying to completely start and then start over that process over and over again.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer.
And it could be more, but I didn't want, I don't want to talk all day. But yes, there's some
No,
other
you
things
can
we can look at
still
there. But yeah,
elaborate. You can still
okay, okay,
elaborate because even this isn't on script, but I mean, like, even as far as like it's tax season, right? What are
yeah,
some
right.
mistakes that a lot of people do when they get those checks, those tax,
It's
When
the
tax
they get them
big, the,
returns.
checks,
they get those big
yeah.
checks? What are some mistakes
I
do
think
consumers make?
think we focus on the luxuries, or not even luxuries. I think we spend it before we get it.
Hmm.
In our mind, mentally, that money is spent before it even hit that direct deposit. It's already gone in your mind. You're like, I got to do this, I got to do that, and got to do this. And sometimes that's necessary, especially if you're trying to put food on your table, you're trying to feed your kids. Nothing wrong with that. But when it's, hey, I got to, I'm going to do this, and it's all these fun things, and that's definitely, I want you to enjoy your money. And you said it earlier. You can be young, happy, take care of your financial situation. You can have a mixture of both, but it has to be a mix. So
Hmm.
when you get that refund, can you have a little bit of fun? Can you actually put some things also to better your financial situation? So if there is a debt or a bill or some investing that you want to do, let's take a portion of our money and put it towards that as well. Really, it's not even just for adults, it's for children as well. There's three buckets you can look at. Is there money that I can enjoy? Is there money that I can actually put towards some type of savings or debt? And then the other one is, can I put something towards that I can actually put towards charity or give? So can I
Mm.
give some? Can I save some? And can I really grow some of that money? That is, if when you're thinking in that kind of way, anytime you do get a bonus, whether that's a tax refund or some type of surprise money that you didn't realize you were going to get, you're like, hey, can I put it towards these things? What are my priorities? And then what are some of my needs? Like, hey, I got to take care of me for a minute, whether that's a
Hmm.
therapy session, whether that's a massage session, whatever that thing may be. Okay, I'm going to do some of that, but I also got to handle my business too.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is a good question too finances and preparing for a passing of a loved one go hand in hand.
Mm,
What are some affordable steps we can take to protect ourselves and our families in these cases? Lawyers are also expensive.
definitely. Lawyers are definitely expensive and can be, but sometimes lawyers are necessary when we're looking at alternatives. One of the easiest things we can do that a lot of people don't do, and I know a lot of your listeners can take advantage of this right now, is update your beneficiaries. Do you even
Mm-hmm.
have beneficiaries? And maybe someone in the family has passed and you still have that person listed as a beneficiary. Your grandparent, parent, whomever that be, if anybody's listening and you haven't updated that person, now that if you don't update that, then now that's going to go to maybe that family's estate. And now that's going to be more difficult for you to get that money. And now you may
Mm-hmm.
have to hire an attorney. And now you do have to go through probate because you didn't update the beneficiary. So one of the easiest things you can do that costs $0 is to keep your beneficiaries updated. Time and time again, I've seen people have, and this goes to, they have one spouse that they have as the beneficiary, and then for whatever reason, maybe they get divorced, whatever, and they move on, but they left them as the beneficiary.
Mm-hmm.
That person passes, and now new wife, let's just say, comes along,
Mm-hmm.
and she comes to get the money, and she's the one that's been with them the last 10, 15, 20 years. And now instead of her getting that money to take care of their family and to do the things that they had always talked about they were going to do, it never goes to her because the name listed is the first wife or the first girlfriend. It doesn't have to be a wife, whoever that was listed as their beneficiary, or it could go to mama and wife. You never switched, he never switched it from mama. He never switched it over to you. So
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
never got taken care of. Those type of things happen. And trust me, that don't mean they have to give it to you. If it was legally in their name, it's theirs. They don't have to give that money to you. So that can be one of those very difficult things, and it separates families. It makes families very upset. One of the things that really hurts families is when people pass away and there's no will, there's no trust, there's no plan for what's going to happen to this person's assets, what is going to happen to the things that they actually have. And a lot of people say, I don't have assets. People will fight over jackets, cars. They will fight over every single thing because they care about you and they love you and they want that memory. But it's a lot easier if we're adults here. It's some things that you can put in place to make that a lot easier, or put a person that you know who is responsible that can make those decisions in the event of something that happens to make sure the other family members are taken care of. You know who that person is. The rest of the family may not.
Yeah.
So, as far as updating, what do you recommend? Like, because I know you can do it once a year for your life insurance or when it's time for insurance. What do you
Yes.
recommend as far as updating? Just once a year, every 5 years?
When it comes to beneficiaries, something like that, once a year is totally fine. As far as a beneficiary, I would say look at it at minimum once a year. I wouldn't wait 5 years, 3 years. You're like, I know who it is. Well, you update your benefits every year at your job. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
time for you to start thinking about that. It's right before the holidays too. So around
Mm-hmm.
that holiday season, usually benefit season starts anywhere from as early as August through November. You start to get benefit season at employers. And that's a good time for you to start thinking about some of those things. Do I need to switch this from mom to somebody else or whatever the case may be? Or has mom updated her information? It may not just be you looking after just changing your stuff, but it's making sure those family members do it, because those are the ones that, they may need that additional help. They may need that power of attorney. They may need those situations, and they're going to be relying on you, even though your name is not on the paperwork. Now it gets harder for you to actually take care of mom, dad, cousin, brother, whoever that may be.
Are the wills through attorneys only? Do you have to go through an attorney to get your will updated? Because I know some people update their wills every year too, or every situation. They always run into update their will. Are the people going through an
Taking you
attorney
out.
every time they do that? Yeah, scratch your name
Well,
to list.
that one may be a little bit more of an attorney question as far as the
Okay,
pricing on that. Every time they make a little change, that's in the will, so that's not a beneficiary change. They're like, well, somebody, I'm kicking them out of the will or the trust or the inheritance, something like that.
that's
That if
illegal.
you're making
Yeah.
that many actual changes, I mean, they may be making notes or something of that nature, but I don't know. That may be better suited for an attorney to
Okay.
answer than me. But I wouldn't recommend you making a lot of changes. Every time somebody cross you or look at you funny.
Okay, Lita,
They be
carry
like, I'm gonna
on.
remember that.
Right? They do. It's true. You are right.
Oh my God. Okay. That was a good question though, D. Um, Adjusting lifestyles can help with savings such as automatic deduction to a high yield
Mm.
savings, cutting back on costs, earning extra incomes and investing. Can you tell us the most simple investment option and a few examples of high yield saving banks you would recommend?
Ooh, there's a couple of things there. I would say, regardless of whether it's a high yield savings account, a CD, or a just a general savings account, the point is to put money in the account.
Hmm.
It don't matter if you're getting 2%, 3%, 5% if nothing's going in there. So you have to be able to set up an automatic draft from the checking or savings, that systematic thing where you don't have to worry about it. Because if you're counting on yourself to do it every time you get a paycheck or every time you win a contract or every time you do a gig and you get that money, are you going to remember to put it over there? And what are you basing that off of each time? Depending on your mood or your stress level at that time, you're going to make that decision, and it may or may not be what's best for you. So if you already have a plan set in place, it makes that a lot easier and you don't have to do anything for it. So already making up in your mind that I'm putting 10% of my paycheck towards this savings goal, whatever the case may be. The other thing is, if you're going to do that high yield savings account, whether that's at one of your regional banks or a credit union, I wouldn't say a specific one because they change the rates, but credit unions usually have some of the best interest rates just as far as a savings account. High yield savings accounts, usually online banks, are going to have the best high yield savings accounts. But when you utilize either one of those, whether it's at a credit union or one of these online banks, I'm going to tell you to do something that seems like I used to use Beyonce for this one. The song where she says, if you like it, you should put a
Put
ring
the
on it.
ring on it, yes.
Right. If you like it, if you value it, why haven't you put a name on that bank account or that savings goal? So the savings account, instead of saying main checking 123 or whatever your account number is, why haven't you put that's for your small business idea? Or why haven't you put that trip to Tokyo or wherever you're going to go, to the Caribbean, whatever that next big thing is going to be for you to pay off this whatever debt or whatever the case may be. Put a name on it so every time when you see that, that's my goal, that's my dream, that's the experience that I want to have. And every time I'm doing this, I'm getting closer and closer to my dream. I'm getting closer and closer to reaching my mountaintop. That's the kind of thing that will really, I think, help change those money scripts that we talked about earlier. Because you're like, I'm doing the right things. I'm building up. I'm getting closer. And it's really reminding you to do it's subtle, but it helps change that mindset, in my opinion.
Yeah.
These are some really good tips, really good
Yeah,
tactics. I mean, I'm just listening
absolutely.
like I should have had my notepad here to take these notes down with me because, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is
We
good
can play it back.
information.
We can play it back. That's the beauty of
Right.
podcasts. That's the
That's
Yeah,
beauty of
you're
right.
right.
podcasts. We
You're
can play it
right. You're
back.
right. But I
And
still need this for tomorrow at work.
And so, in addition to having a bank account that's kind of like, we have easy access to that, or maybe a bank
Mm-hmm.
account where you don't
Mm-hmm.
have as much access to because it's online and
Mm-hmm.
it's not a brick and mortar. You can't walk up to it,
Yes.
so you don't touch it as often. Do you
Hmm.
Yes.
find it helpful to also pair these accounts with the Roth IRA or with the traditional IRA? Like, you don't have to have a whole bunch of money to set up those accounts. Like, you can also, like, because those have like routing and account numbers too that you can automate deposits to as well, right? And
Absolutely.
that's money that grows, right? Those
Hmm.
have capital gains over time. And we
Yes.
don't have to go deep into it because, again, we want our listeners to tune in to your podcast, but kind of like inform them that exists. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about savings accounts, high yield savings, but we haven't really crossed that threshold over into the investing game. yet. And when you do, it's some of the same things of actually, if you're going to have that Roth IRA or that just an investment account, you can set up an automatic plan to send $100, $50, $500, whatever the case may be, over into that account automatically every month. And when you start putting money in investments, whether that's a retirement account or just a regular investment account, there are tax advantages to that as well. So just by putting money into a retirement account like a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, you may be able to get some tax deductions just by doing that. Depending on your income and where you're at financially, there are some things that may be out there for you to lower your taxable income now or to get that money tax free later. So with all three of those, whether that's the investment account, the Roth IRA, or the traditional IRA. And I would just say this to take a step back so we don't get too much into the jargon of all of this, is just the money goes into, you're just putting money into an account, just like a savings account or just like a checking account. The difference is with these type of accounts, what makes the money actually grow in these accounts are the things that are stocks, are bonds. These are the things that are going to either make it earn interest, dividends, or some type of growth from owning that asset, a company. So by owning those things within that account, it allows the account to grow. So there is a step that people forget. And I've had clients that I've worked with. It's been teachers, it's been higher income individuals where they've put money into these investment accounts, but then they didn't do the second step, which was to actually buy the investments. So they were like, hey, I've been putting money into this account for 10 years. Well, that's great. But what did you purchase with that money? And they're like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to buy anything with those. So it's really just been a glorified checking account if you don't do the step 2 of actually putting the money into some type of investment. So you have with it. So one is, yes, setting up the automatic investing to go from checking to saving. I mean, to go from your savings account or your checking account into the investment account. But then the next step is to then set up a separate automatic potentially plan. You can do it separately. You don't have to do the automatic plan, but I highly encourage you to look at that to where it automatically purchases those investments for you so that now, hey, it goes in, and then once it's there, it just isn't sitting. That money actually starts working for you. You want your money to work as hard as you are. You out there kicking, you out there working and sweating and putting all this time in. Your money can work just as hard as you can. And in fact, your money can actually make more money than you can because it will grow and multiply. And I won't get into all the, mathematics of it, but yes, your money can make its own money. So just know that you can build that money over time, and that consistency, whether we keep bringing back up, is a big factor into doing that.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
this is a lot of education tonight. And
yeah.
coming, I'm gonna tell you what's cool about this. It's like
What's
Yeah.
up?
I'm working at a financial institution and you are connecting the dots for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too.
it's
Me
it's
too.
fun. This is a new challenge. I wrote this
Mm-hmm.
in my journal about, saving and stuff like that and just trying to live, and it finances is a vulnerable topic.
It
And I
Mm-hmm.
is.
tweeted
It
about
is.
this last week because no one wants to seem broke.
Yeah.
Are you
Mm-hmm.
still here? Okay. No
Yes,
one
the
wants to
battery went
see.
out. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
okay. All right, but you switched it real cool. But no one
Yeah, you
wants to
did.
seem broke. Nobody wants
Nope.
to be like doesn't seem like they can't afford things because it does
Yeah.
get embarrassing when you be like, oh, I can't spend that much this week. I'm gonna stay in home. Sometimes it can be, but I have gained my confidence to saying no to not spending money on useless things right now because I have been broke and it's not a good feeling. So thank you for providing this information to me. I want to tackle that and get to the mountaintop and
Hey.
live and let my money grow and live the champagne lifestyle.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Because that's what it's
Absolutely.
about.
Yeah, and I want to add one thing. I think it's great in y'all last episode that y'all were vulnerable and actually journaled. I think that's huge. I think that's
Let me
huge to
Mm-hmm.
get
find
it.
out you be listening to us. Are you a sipper? You a sipper, Roland?
Thank you
I
for
be looking at
saying
the
that.
analytics. I be looking at the
Thank you for
analytics, and
saying
the
that.
numbers do be growing. So
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It gets a little uncomfortable to kind of let people inside what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
But like Lena, I have gained confidence to just
Mm-hmm.
say, look, this is me. This is take it or leave it. I see everybody
Mm-hmm.
doing their spring break. I see y'all doing your spring breaks. I see y'all. But
yeah,
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna stay inside because
yep.
I'm not finna spend money I do not have, which I could
There we
totally
go.
do,
Mm-hmm.
and
But
pay
we don't
myself back
need to.
later. But we're not doing that.
That's right.
Right.
We're
You got
okay.
something
We're
bigger
okay.
planned.
Got
You got
something
something
bigger
bigger planned.
planned. So
That's it.
I love that we're tapping into, not feeling ashamed. And
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that you are open with your platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Lena, did you have any other questions? Did you have anything else you wanted to ask? Is there
Well, I
before we
just for
close?
Roland, like, do you have any future financial topics or workshops or any events that our sippers can look forward to, or just, the locals in Chattanooga?
Well, I think the main thing right now is the podcast. Definitely check out the Money Peaks and Pivots podcast. I think also I'm trying the YouTube thing too. That's something I got to get a little bit more comfortable in. Me being vulnerable here and being open and honest. Being on camera is not really my thing, and I'm working on that, getting out there a little bit more and trying uh, to grow in that area for 2025. So that's still a work in progress. Definitely follow me on social media: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of those different social media channels, on LinkedIn too. So I love
Mm.
to have conversations, questions. People will DM me and ask me a question. I'll shoot it. If it's something I can get back to you with that's not too complicated, I'll shoot you an answer right back, and try to help
Hmm.
you out. And I love interacting with people. So it's not necessarily just me trying to make you into a client, but really help our community. So I love doing that. And if I can point you to the right resource, I certainly will.
But
Thank
Roland,
you.
don't you have like a volunteer tax program that you're doing? Because I probably need to go to this. I haven't filed my
Yes.
taxes yet.
You haven't? Well, you got
No.
April 15th. April 15th is the deadline to file. It's not my program. It is the IRS program that the Urban League is doing. And it's called the VITA, and it stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. It is specifically for people who make $67,000 a year or less. However, if you do make more, there are ways and things that we can look at to still make sure that you're taken care of. And there are other free options out there we can also help people with. But definitely, that's a huge, huge program. People are paying on average, I think, roughly like $350, $325 or so dollars on average for tax preparation fees, and they may end up owing money, and they may only make $30,000, $40,000 a year, and they're paying for a company to do their taxes, and they owe money, and they don't make that much money, and that can be a big challenge. What we're doing at these Vita sites here locally in Chattanooga, like at First Baptist Church, people come in, they bring all their tax documents, the W-2s, any side gig stuff, their DoorDash and Uber, whatever the case may be. We will help them get their taxes filed, help them get any deductions that they have. They claiming children, whatever the case may be. We want to get all of those things. We want them to have all of those documents so we can actually get their taxes processed for free 99 and get that refund back to them. No charge at all.
Wow. Thank you
Well,
for
I'm
bringing
about
that
to
up, Lena.
sign
That's
up. What now?
great.
What
Yeah.
time do I need to be there?
You hit me up, you just let me know. We'll
Okay,
make sure you
'cause
you taken care of.
how
But
late y'all stay open?
on certain nights we will stay open till 8. So there is
Oh,
so on Tuesday nights we will stay open to 8. So just keep that in mind before that April 15th deadline. Now after that, we are sourcing these people from the community. So these are volunteers. These are people that come from different backgrounds, and we get them IRS certified, trained to be able to prepare taxes on an advanced level so they can answer all different types of questions for you. Now, they're not necessarily bookkeepers or accountants, so they're not. If you have a small business, we're not going to help you pay your employees or run your payroll for you. But we will prepare your taxes. We will help you prepare your taxes. If you bring the necessary documents, we will take care of you. You can actually go to ulchat.net /VITA. And you can book an appointment there online, or you can just give the Urban League of Greater Chattanooga a call, and they will transfer you to our tax line, and someone can book an appointment for you over the phone that way too.
All right.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's an awesome resource. All
Yeah,
right. Well, this is a lot. You dropped a whole rack of gems.
sure
And I
did.
really hope that the listeners
We
have their
get
pen and
ready
papers
to
ready.
climb the
Yeah.
mountain.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yeah. And we're gonna take our money and we're gonna get to the mountain peak and we're gonna pivot and we're gonna move accordingly. So
That's
Yep.
right.
yes, thank you. Thank you
That's
so
And
right.
live the
much.
champagne lifestyle.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
y'all remember we are on our podcast with Roland McIntyre. He is with Mountaintop Wealth, and check him out on Money Peaks and Pivots on everywhere they do podcasting or wherever he has his podcast, which seems like you had a lot of platforms where people can find you, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
So, all
Yes. Yes.
right, Lena, are we gonna get into any intentions for the week, or did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, yeah, we can go and set our intentions for the week, Roland. We just kind of speak into existence of things that we want to accomplish throughout the week on every end of the episode. So me, I'm just gonna continue to learn more at work. Today I did some like side training while I was, working and it helped the day go by fast. And yeah, that I'm gonna just continue to learn and continue to be punctual because that is a area where I am not good at. So I'm working on being on time and yeah, not saying that I'm late for
Okay.
work all the time. Not saying that at
Yeah,
all. I don't want y'all to get
listen,
that. We champagne lifestyle. We got our priorities in order. But
we
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying I
understand.
be
Mm-hmm.
late to other things. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Totally understand. It's relatable. My intention this week, I'm gonna keep mine simple. I'm actually, since we're on the topic of money, I'm going to open up another bank account for my teenager. Her
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
sister, I have two teens, one is 17 and one is 15. Mia opened up her own like checking account so that when she goes to work, they can directly deposit her check into a separate account apart
Okay.
from, the regular when they were babies or whatever account that was. I wanted her to have a big girl account. And I don't mind shouting out Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union. That has been my bank since forever. They,
That is
yes,
a wonderful bank. It is.
yes. I
Mm-hmm.
love them so much. And they
Yeah, shout
are
them out one more time.
forward. Y'all, Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union, okay? TVFCU. They are a
Ooh.
fabulous organization. They are a credit union, and I want to shout them out just not because they're paying me. I wish they were. No, I am shouting them out because they are technically advanced.
Hmm.
They're forward thinking with their technology because you don't even have to go inside the bank with them. Their tellers are on a screen that you can drive up to. And I know you have drive through tellers. That's one thing. But these tellers are working from a whole nother place. So they have way more access. So I never have to wait in line with the regular teller because they're virtual. So they have an unlimited amount of tellers to work with. But with opening up the bank accounts, they also have this app. So I can do this bank account transaction from my phone. They'll turn on the camera, they'll verify the identity through the phone. Like I literally opened up me, and I'm going on a tangent now, but I just think this is so cool. I opened up Mia's account while I shouldn't say this, but we were driving and she was in the passenger seat talking to the teller. And she was like, just show your mom the camera real quick and we can finish this all while I was driving. It's so convenient, y'all. So this week I'm
Hmm.
gonna open up one for Monet because she's 15. She's gonna get a job real soon as well, and we're gonna go and get this account rolling. Mia has her, and that's another thing with the credit union. Every checking account comes with a savings account. So
Hmm.
she has her savings account, she has her checking account, she transfers money back and forth through her app. And I want to get Monet set up in the same way, get it out the way so I ain't gotta think about it anymore. So that's my intention. Sorry I went
Yeah,
on a tangent, but shout
that's
out to the credit
okay.
union.
They are
Yeah, that was good.
wonderful. That's okay. They have Chick-fil-A customer service.
And they
Very,
support
very
the
much so.
community. I see them
Yeah, they
sponsoring
do.
things all the time, so I'm gonna shout
Yeah.
them out. Yeah.
I bank with them too.
Roland, do you have anything you intend to get done this week? It don't have to be as lengthy as mine. It could be short and simple.
I'm going to pivot from the financial topic. The thing I'm trying to be more consistent at is my health. And
Yeah.
I'm continuing my goal of continuing to do something simple, but the habit of doing push-ups every day, every morning.
Ooh.
I try to do that. So I try to be more active. And hey, it's been a warm up, and I don't want that belly to be showing too much. So I need to start to
I
get my
hear
life right.
you.
So
I hear you. Thank you for
definitely
sharing
after,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
try to be
Well,
more
good.
healthy.
Yeah, that feels good. And this whole episode feels good. So thank you
Yeah.
again for coming. Thank you,
Right.
listeners, for joining us. Hopefully, we'll have some people that give us feedback on things they actually implemented after listening. And I'm looking forward to putting some things into action myself. I learned a few things too. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I'm so happy that you were here. So thank y'all. And thank y'all for letting us spill the tea on money, because money is how we
Yes.
gonna get to that
Money.
champagne life. You feel me?
Right.
You gotta get your money right for that champagne life.
If
We
he
pouring
drinking
up and
water.
popping bottles.
Water
We can't
bottles
get to
too.
the bottles without the money though. So
You
so this
right.
was
You
great.
right. Yeah.
All right, sippers. Well, thank y'all for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.
Y'all are amazing. Bye.